Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I know we have people straggling in here, but we're going to get started here promptly at 10 o'clock here Central Time. But I just want to welcome everybody and thank you for taking 30 minutes out of your day today to to tune into us to really just to learn maybe a little bit about some annuity basics. I know we have probably a wide range of agents on this webinar today. Some of you have sold annuities. Some of you have not sold annuities, but kind of want to get maybe that started in your practice. So we appreciate that. So our goal today here is really helping you help your clients. I mean, as corny as that may sound, I've been here for over 20 years now, maybe 23 years. And that philosophy has just always held in my heart is if we can help people, everything takes care of itself. You make a nice living. We're helping people and their families, and a very rewarding profession that we're in. Again, I've been here for I think it's 23 years now, and our owners have brought me in here to start a life and annuity department, and really building off the agent base that we have. Although we have grown significantly over the past several years, and we are thankful for that. We have many good agents that are with us, and we appreciate that. We want One of our goals is not only to teach you maybe some fundamentals and basics, but overall, and I mean this, I want you to be comfortable to where you can pick up the phone and call me or email me or just allow me to help you. Um, there are no dumb questions. There really aren't. And we just really want to get you comfortable with talking about people's money that maybe they're already your clients. And then just kind of overall, this is a 5 week program. So every Wednesday at 10 o'clock Central Time, we're gonna use about a half hour of your time. And the first 3 weeks are really, as John Hockaday would say, the blocking and tackling, the fundamentals, the basics. And then week 4 is a special week. I got one of my top agents that will come in here and talk to you more about in the trenches and kind of where the rubber hits the road type of thing, and what he's experienced and maybe some objections or questions that clients have during a presentation. But I think you'll find that really beneficial in week 4. And then week 5, as we finish it up, it's kind of a review and kind of see where we go from there. But I know Jason's got the questions, the chat window. So if you have any questions, just type them in there, and then we're allowing some time at the end that we'll get to those hopefully. And if we don't get to all of them, I'll definitely follow up with you individually to get some of those answered. So, all right. So just getting started in anything that we do, I mean, that is the greatest hurdle of just getting going. I mean, how do we start something new, something that we've never done before? And it's a can be overwhelming. So really just getting from the toes in the water to getting you to really just jump in and trusting us that we're going to be there to help you and handhold a little bit for you, and that's what. And when you look at the why that might help you, is really the big why is you probably already have a significant client base. And one of the why I should get started with annuities is it's a great service to the families that you're serving right now. If you've got them on health insurance or ancillary products or whatever it might be that you're providing them with a service. And as we all know, it's further ties you down to with the client when you can get a couple policies, and you're the go-to. They're not going somewhere else. And I know over the past several years, I've had many Medicare agents say this has really helped, because when med subs have a rate increase, sometimes our clients stray from us. But if they're tied into you for 2 or 3, and especially with their money, they're going to come back to you first and let you have a chance to better their situation, maybe with the Medicare supplement. And then, but I mean, this isn't above anything else, but you can get an extremely nice revenue from offering the annuities. And we'll get more into that later on as we go. So, all right. Step 1, the front porch of anything, whether it's annuities, med sup, whatever, is the contracting. we have an excellent contracting department here. And while I have some things on the screen, some basics, really our contracting department, when you request a contract or we talk it out of saying, let's go with company A, B, and maybe C, is that they're going to hold your hand to get you what you need to get going with annuity sales. And each, not to get too detailed, but that last bullet there, every company has product specific training, and don't let that overwhelm you. It's really just reading their slideshow and really learning about their product. I know one of our more recent companies that we picked up, it's about a 20-minute product training, and it really is beneficial to you. It really does educate you about their product and really their company in general. But just rest assured, our contracting department will help you with that. Some of our carriers go faster than others, so just be aware that sometimes there's some pain in that. So sometimes you got to be patient with some of our carriers. Okay, and again, we're talking about the blocking and tackling, the fundamentals. Sometimes, and maybe you've had this experience, that a client will ask you about a product, or they'll ask you about, whatever it might be. Maybe what's your dental plan, or what's this and that. And occasionally they may say something about an annuity, or I had a friend that bought an annuity. What do you think about an annuity? So we have some agents that I just don't do that, or let me check on that, or hopefully you say, let's call Kirk. So, and we'll get you through that. But that doesn't always happen where they ask you. So we really encourage you to use a client needs assessment, and I'll tell you why here in a little more detail, but really get kind of in a routine, however it's comfortable for you, whether you're talking about the health insurance or whatever it might be, but to implement a financial question into your client needs assessment. So Jason, next slide. This is an example of part of a CNA, client needs assessment, that gets you started with talking about, let's say you have a MedSupp client and you're going through these 10 questions, and this is question number 8, let's just say. So you make these questions or design this particular question to your comfort level, but I know this is a popular one right here, is simply asking your client if they're satisfied with their present rate of return on their investments. So regardless of what the answer is to that question, you're going to know. They may say, well, I don't have any investments, or they may say, now that you say that, I have a CD at the bank that's getting 2.4%. I have, I'm with whatever investment planner, and my goodness, I got my quarterly statement, and I lost $50,000 last quarter, or whatever it may be. But simply asking this question doesn't mean that you have to immediately provide a solution. You're simply finding out where they're at. If they have money, if it's in the market, if it's in the bank, wherever it is. And I know the bullet's up there and it's probably getting a little bit detailed ahead of ourselves, but if the funds are in the stock market, as you get comfortable, you can talk about risks and fees and things of that nature, because most of our clients that we deal with are seniors, and they're really in that preservation stage where they really don't want to have these big dips. Last couple of days, the stock market had taken a beating, and that's just part of it. But then the last bullet there, sometimes you find bank money, so then you can talk more about solid interest rates. And while I'm on this slide, I'm just going to tell you a quick story. We have a guy on my floor here, and he's been an agent for, I don't know, Jason, maybe a year now, maybe a little over a year, Joe. Excuse me. And so he just started doing the client needs assessment. And I'll cut off a little bit of this story, but he uncovered a client that has the MedSupp, but he uncovered that this guy had a little over 500,000 that he is nervous about. He had lost X amount of dollars in the market. He's old enough where this is just, I don't want this risk anymore. And then he also discovered he had about 150,000 that was in a savings account in the bank. So very long story short, and not to get ahead of ourselves, because he used this client needs assessment and that question you're looking at right on the screen right now, we uncovered a significant amount of money. And then he collected those facts. And then we kind of went back to the client with our expert, and he has someone that helps him, which would be us, or you learn about it and it's going to be you, but to talk to him. And he ended up writing 650,000, part of which went into fixed indexed annuity, part of which went into a MIGA, multi-year guarantee annuity. So my point on all this is just asking. He had no idea. He's probably walked by this many, many times with other clients, but in this particular client, just by asking the question, he's able to help the guy and make an exceptional commission off of this as well. So that is that. And Jason, so I don't, everybody's a little bit different. You may have an office, you may go see people, whatever, but there's just different avenues. So the client needs assessment. We've also had agents with some success adopt a client letter or a desk display. So an example of the client letter, and this is just an example of what was used. As you can see, it's a little outdated. But the grabber, typically in that first paragraph, is something that is disruptive. And I don't mean scare tactics or anything like that, but something that just grabs your client's attention, that might be a little bit disruptive. And then you can kind of get into the body of a letter, really just as much as anything, letting them know that you work in the financial areas, that you might have something that could help them with their money. So some of these have great success, some of these don't. I'm going to add to this that typically the agents that I've seen use letters, this is just to their client base. The ones that already have policies, this is not cold letters going out to a list. These are letters designed to go to a what's in your filing cabinet. So just one example, and we have different ones. You can make your own, but it has had some success because, again, you're sending it to your own client base. And then the next slide, we have agents that like to use displays on their desk. So it kind of gets your client's attention. So they might be in there to talk about their health insurance or their dental plan or whatever it might be. And you have something that grabs their attention that's on your desk, and they see 5% or whatever the rate is. And we can help you design these with some templates. And when you get contracted with us, these are some of the services that we provide to help you. But you can just see these are a couple examples on the thing here. So your client is looking at these and like, can you tell me more about this 5%? Because I've got a CD and I'm not getting 5%. What is this all about? So just another avenue to kind of get the ball rolling, so to speak. Okay, qualified prospects. There's no prospect better than the ones that they're already in your filing cabinet or your database. Those are obviously 100% your best, your qualified prospects. And then when you circle back with the CNAs, really to see where they were going to fit in with your offering of annuities. And if you can hit that next one, Jason, just some examples. I don't know, if I've done a very good job here of putting qualified prospects. I don't really know if qualified is the right term, but these are prospects that may need your help. But here's some examples. The first bullet, if they've changed jobs and they have an old 401k account, sometimes where they've left that job, they have to do something with that 401k, whether they move it to the next job or they can move it to a fixed indexed annuity or a MIGA or whatever, something with an insurance product with you. They can do that. And then they might still be working, and then they've started the new 401k at their new job. So, sometimes you ask, have you changed jobs in the last 5 years? You can uncover some money that way. And then we also have people that honestly just retire. We have ADM and Caterpillar and some other things here in our community. And people are looking for solutions because they've retired or they know they're retiring. And now what do I do with my money? I mean, I don't want to be in the stock market anymore. I don't want to, take these losses anymore. What can I do with that to help preserve and grow, and maybe even have an income flow? And we'll get into, product specific for some of those things later. Then the next bullet there, they have money in a bank account, and you'd be surprised at how many people just have large checking and savings account where the money is just kind of collecting dust. They like to see it, they like to have it there, but they just don't know what they're going to do with it. And for the most part, it's just been sitting there. So we have a product for that, or products for that, where they can grab their money, have some access to it. They want the safety, but they also want a good return on their investment, their money that's sitting there. So, and again, that last bullet, some people are worried about the market volatility, and there's just different things, and everybody's in a different stage of their life. So, and I'm going to kind of stop there a minute for me personally and tell you, we are here to help you help your clients. And again, I know I kind of let in with that, as corny as that sound, but we want to make sure that we are putting that client in the right product. Now, there's suitability things, that's the underwriting for annuities that help. But on our end, on my end right here, is I want to hear what your clients' goals are, kind of where they are right now, and what they want, what their future looks like, and then we can help them. We want to always make sure, especially, that we want safety, we want guarantees, we want growth, but we want to protect your clients' money because they've worked darn hard for that money. So that's our job, to help you find the right product. And again, we're independent here, as you are on this call. So we're not married to any certain company. So we want to find what's best for your client. And with that, I don't know where we are on time, Jason. I know we went a little bit quick here on this first day, but I don't know if we have any.
Got a couple.
Okay.
Andre asks, what if the client asks, what is an annuity?
It's perfect. Okay. And we had this in the office actually yesterday, and Jason and Rebecca, part of our team here, we have a really nice, and it actually has a company's name on it, but two nice pieces that are one pagers that will really break it down for you and your client of what an annuity is. Because let's just take a look at that. Sometimes annuities have bad reputations, and those are the annuities we personally here don't sell. We don't offer variable annuities where those are taking the dips and losses with the market. So that's kind of one road, and I'm going to really kind of be general here. But then another road are our MIGAs, the multi-year guarantee annuities, where, some of our fundamentals on weeks 2 and 3 here will have this, but where it's a set rate for a set period of time. And I mean, you can show through illustration, and we'll help you with that, and we can do that down to the penny what your client will earn at the end of this, just say 5 years or 3 years, whatever the annuity is. So that's what we refer to as a MIGA, or some people call it a fixed rate annuity. And then kind of our third road here is a FIA, fixed indexed annuity, where a lot of those are the people are used to the market, and the fixed indexed annuities can be tied, let's just say, to different indices. And let's just call it the S&P 500, where an insurance company will allow that client to participate in the gains of whatever's tied, let's just call it the S&P 500, but they will not be tied to the losses. So on fixed indexed annuities, they always use the term zero is my hero. I might have a year where I didn't make any, but I didn't lose any either. So if I had my 401k and I saw a $40,000 dip in 2024, you wouldn't have seen that with a fixed indexed annuity. The worst you can do is stay at the waterline that you were at. So generally speaking, and it was Andre again.
Mhm.
Yeah, Andre, we shoot me an email. You'll see my contact information here coming up. Go ahead and throw that on there while we're looking at it. But you can, and we'll email you a little handout here, 2 sheets, 2 one-pagers, and maybe we can just provide that for everybody on the.
We'll send this out to everybody
We'll send
afterwards.
this out to everybody, so you don't have to contact me, but we'll send this out to everybody. I really like this piece, and it's going to have a company's name on it. But again, we're not married to any particular company, but it's really a nice one pager that would really address your question there, Andre, and really be consumer friendly as well. You got another one there, Jason?
Okay, anonymous, what's the best annuity today?
That's a good question. The best one are the ones that we offer. So the best annuity. So if you're looking at multi-guarantee annuities, there's a lot of them that are over 5% right now. And typically you're looking at a 5-year, that's the most commonly sold, but there's some 3 years. We even have some window annuities, the 1-year annuities. But we would have killed for a 3% a couple years back. I mean, this is a great time. So anybody that's on this webinar right now, I'm telling you right now, been in here for 23 years, I guess it is now, but this is a really, really good time to talk about annuities with your clients. And that's where my goal is, to get you comfortable with that and to help you. And hopefully at the end of the 5 weeks, then maybe we have a one-on-one or whatever it might be to get you do that. And then again, to kind of part B that, there are some fixed indexed annuities, and I get privileged to have agents let me know what's going on, because I want to know. I want to make sure that we're doing our job here. And we were having a lot of agents report double-digit returns with some fixed indexed annuities this past year. So, we can talk a lot more about that. It's a great question. There's just so much of it, and I don't want to overwhelm you, but I guess my overall message is, if you've never sold annuities, this is a great time to get into it. And I'm going to kind of further go on this. If you've never sold annuities, I really like, this is just what I've seen successful, is to start you out with 1 or 2 carriers that we like a lot and that are the most competitive. And I really like starting new agents on the MIGAs, the multi-year guarantee, where I can tell that client, this is a set period of time, a set interest rate, and I can show them even on an illustration, a one pager. You give us 100,000 at the end of 5 years, this is what your annuity will be worth if you've not taken any withdrawals, and it's down to the penny. So that's great comfort, safety guarantees, and all that. What else we got there, Jason?
Okay, what's the minimum cash required for an annuity?
Yep. A lot of them are $10,000, the single premium deferred annuities. Most of them are 10. We'll have a couple that are at 5,000. Some of the fixed indexed annuities will allow additional deposits within the first 12 months. The MIGAs are not like that. It's the one-time shot, but specifically, most carriers are looking at 10,000 as a minimum on that. What else we got, Jason?
Are we contracted with Allianz?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of yes, and there's a transition going on with that, but yeah, we would have access to Allianz. And not to pick on Allianz, but they've been one that's been a little tougher. They're a great carrier. It's just, these go in cycles of, especially the A+ carriers like Allianz, that sometimes don't get to contracting of the agent as quick as we would like. And I don't mean to downgrade them whatsoever. Everybody has their ebb and flow of this.
Okay, where can we get the needs assessment forms? If you want that right now, you can go to our website, newhorizonsmktg.com, and click on, it is called, Agent Resources, and then Training and Tip Sheets, and it's found right there. But we will also send this out in the follow-up email.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
And on that, and I know we got more, but on that client needs assessment, people, it works. It just does. And our top 2, and I'll just kind of stop with that, but our top 2 annuity guys were doing nothing but med subs. I mean, nothing but. And they both produced over 10 million in annuities last year, and they stick to it. I mean, they stick to this client needs assessment, and they sell other things from it as well. And I say sell, you're helping them. You're helping a white, and it's nice when a client has you as the go-to and you're the person. And again, you don't have to know everything. We're your backroom support on the annuity, which is what we're talking about today, but you'll get to where you're very, very comfortable with that. That's our goal.
Okay, Andrew asks, how or when do you talk about annuities during a Medicare appointment if it is not covered on a scope of appointment?
Yeah, most of ours, I would say, on the client needs assessment are a comeback. I know a lot of our agents, and it's not during necessarily during the open enrollment where you're getting into the MA, and I'm not touching all the compliance stuff of that. Follow your rules, do it right 100% of the time, not 99.9, but a lot of ours are comebacks. And then some of our annuity sales are because of a guy that's maybe done a seminar to where he's talking about helping them, even educating them on Medicare and things of that. And then typically it's a comeback to where they specifically come back. Because I know a lot of the guys that do the client needs assessment and it's 10 questions and they just make the notes. Well, they're not going to try to solve all 10 things today. They may, okay, so this guy's got 50,000 in a CD. I may circle that. We're not going to do that today. But if you want to come back and do that, let's come back and do that next week or whatever it might be. But follow your rules, people.
Okay, Veronica, great info. I know you discussed the client needs assessment, but what other methods do you jumpstart the conversation about annuities? Being comfortable with asking clients about their finances.
Yeah, so let's go back to Joe. Joe, who's been on the job about a year. Okay, it took a lot of courage for Joe to even go through a client needs assessment. It does not hurt, and Joe did it. Once he uncovered that this guy's got this, he's like, you know what? I hear what you're saying. I have a specialist, a resource. Let me collect this information and now let me do some digging for you. I don't want to use the word shopping, but let me do some research to see. I hear what your needs are. Let's see what product we can find that would be the solution to that. So, of course, don't make anything up, like I got this, this, and this. It never hurts to say, let me find some solutions for you. That's my biggest recommendation. People, I coached basketball for 19 years. I came here 23 years ago. I can't spell insurance. The only thing I knew about insurance was that we had it. And I've learned along the way, and I'm continuing to learn, but I had a lot of people help me as this thing has really turned into a nice business for everyone. That's what we're here to do for you. And it is step by step. It's not going to happen overnight. Joe, does this big one, this over 600,000, and he's still going to need the help. I mean, he still needs help until he gets really, really comfortable each and every time. So I don't know if I answered that greatly, but know that we are going to do what's right for your client. We're not going to hurt your client. We're not going to hurt you. So just rest assured, we're always going to do what's right for the client.
Okay, Pace asks, where can we get the one-page flyer? And we are going to send that out in the follow-up email that goes out after this. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, Elizabeth, don't MIGAs pay a lot less commissions than FIAs?
Yes. Yes. So in general terms, in general speaking, and there's a lot of different grids on commission. So I mean, there's no way I could even cover it if I wanted to here, but some of them are based on the product, the age, there's a lot of variables, but generally speaking, if you're looking at probably a MIGA at, let's just call it 2%, you're looking at a FIA typically at 3.5, maybe even 4 times, maybe 5 times of what a MIGA is. So, but again, guys, and I call me old fashioned, we are always going to put your client in the best product. And do we want you making a great living and making a lot of commission? Of course we do. But from my standpoint, we're always going to put that client in what they need.
Okay, then Audrey. Hey, Audrey. What is your opinion on annuities that offer an upfront bonus on the funds deposited?
Great question. That is a great question. So some of the fixed indexed annuities, for anybody out there, they will have a a bonus. They can have a bonus. And typically if it's a bonus, so let's just say they're offering a 5% bonus. So I put in 100,000 right out of the gate, they're going to reward me with another 5,000 in my account. When you get into bonuses, and I'm speaking very blunt here, there is a time and place for those for sure. But typically on bonus products, the caps, the fixed rate, the participation rates are lower than what it would be without the bonus. So you got to kind of weigh that in, looking at the long haul. Some agents I know use the bonus because if a client is in a product that still has some surrender charges to it, but they're just drowning in it, and it's not what they thought they signed up for, so they want to get out of it. And again, these would have to pass suitability. Sometimes that's when a nice bonus product is plugged in. So they have their place. We have agents that write them. It's not as prevalent as just the regular FIAs, but bonus products are definitely utilized. They have a place.
Okay, Fung, do you have an annuity which only requires monthly or annual contributions, no minimum cash up front?
Those are flexible premium annuities. We have a few, of course, but most of them are going to require a deposit. Typically, the bare minimum is a $5,000 deposit. And then, for example, they would allow ongoing premiums monthly of no less than $100. So those are for younger, usually people. So, those are things we can talk about, but again, I'm being blunt honest here. Sometimes those young people are quite frankly better to use a financial planner. I'm just being blunt, because they may miss or they don't have it up front to give it, and they're just wanting to get in some kind of a forced savings plan. But we do have some flexible premium annuities.
Okay, Frank, do you have the needs worksheet? Yes, you might have caught this earlier, but we're going to send that out. But I also pasted the link in the chat. So if you click that chat button, you should see the link take you right there. Is suitability any different for MYGAs?
The short answer to that is no. Suitability is different for each carrier. There are some carriers that we have that where a client can refuse to answer the suitability questions. So that's possible where you don't have to be invasive to really get down to the financials of their client and dig down. I write annuities. Well, it's not my job, but I write them. I have family, friends, and the word of mouth. I like to use suitability for a couple reasons. First reason is I want to make sure that we're doing this right, that we are definitely making sure that we are not getting this client in over their head with liquidity, meaning that access to grab cash. The other reason I like doing suitability, and they're all different from each carrier, general but different, no matter the product, MYGA or FIA, but I like to use suitability because then it really uncovers more cash. It honestly does. It uncovers more money that they have at a bank or wherever it might be. But I always do suitability 100% of the time. Doesn't matter if it's MYGA or FIA, the company is going to have suitability questions.
Okay, Veronica, the interest that are earned from MYGAs, can clients choose to receive the gains monthly, or can they only receive the interest at maturity?
No, great question. So one of our most popular MYGAs we have is where the client can, after 30 days, most of the companies are going to be after the first 30 days, they can start receiving a monthly interest check. And when I say check, it's a direct deposit right into their account. So we have people that sign up. It's kind of like I put in my 100,000 and it's kind of an addition to my Social Security check. So I have done the bank withdrawals that I want it kicking in, and each month that company is sending money, interest to my account. So then let's just say I put in that 100,000, I'm taking interest out every month. At the end of say it's a 5-year MYGA, at the end of my 5 years, my principal's still in check. It's all there, and I've been taking the interest out each month. So Yes, you can get your interest in most cases. And again, I don't know who asked that question. That's a great question. Make sure your client, you ask that question because what is the goal? So that helps us fit them with the right product. Because there's going to be some products where they can't touch their money. There's a couple carriers where you just have to let it sit in there that you don't have any liquidity. You don't have access to interest.
Okay, Kevin, does integrity marketing set the commission rate or do we get the field commission from the carrier?
The commission comes from your contract with us. That's where the commission comes from. So it's you're getting paid, and I don't know if this is answering quick, you're getting paid from the carrier. So if it's Allianz was mentioned earlier, the company, the carrier is paying you. We're not paying you. You're direct paid from them. We don't handle the money on that part of it.
Hey, Cheryl, will the slides be included as well? Yeah, we'll send a PDF of the slides in the follow-up email. So yes. Got some thank yous. Kevin, please explain how a trigger rate works.
That probably going to be down the road, but there is a company where that would come in. I probably would address that with you, Kevin, and just mark that question because that one's going to be a little more detailed. And we have a carrier that I know what you're talking about but let me get with you individually on that if you don't mind, Kevin.
Okay, and Elizabeth, what's the average age range for MIGA sales?
Ooh, average. We have many carriers that will go up to age 90. So when you say average, most of our agents obviously are in the senior market. So, from 65 up to 90. But I would say we see a lot of them in the 70s. I mean, if I'm looking and I don't have any statistics on that, but just note that we actually have one annuity that will write it up to age 97, actually, on a 3-year deal. Crazy.
Okay, Greg, I see a Medicare needs assessment in the agent resources, but not for annuities. Yeah, that's true. That CNA is for general senior market sales, and the annuity question is one of those questions. I don't know that we have one specifically for annuities.
I can find specific annuity money, just all about money. I mean, we can get you those. The CNA that we're talking about is just really kind of fact finding, and it's going to cover, as you've already discovered, many areas to where you could sell a dental plan or whatever it might be, a final expense. So it's a general, kind of help your client in 10 areas, so to speak, I guess.
Mhm.
Yep. But we can drill down as much as you want on money.
Okay, Monty, is the interest taxable?
And always know that we aren't tax experts. So interest, anytime I take money out, and we're going to get into this probably next week and maybe the week after, but qualified money versus non-qualified. So let's come back to that. But taxes are going to be involved for sure. Anything?
Okay, and last one, Deborah, the link doesn't give a PDF of the CNA. I submitted a request about a week ago and never received it. You might check your spam folder. Deborah, that form you filled out is automated, so when you fill it out, it should email you a copy right away. And if you don't have that, just reach out to us and I'll make sure you get a copy. All right, and this is Jason, by the way. So,
That it?
all right. Yeah, that
Okay.
looks like it's it.
I'm going to wrap us up, and I apologize. I went 9 minutes longer than I thought, but great questions. I love that because I think that is very important as kind of we constructed this format. I think that's a extremely valuable thing for us to always do is to answer. And some questions we may have to get to later or individually. But next week, Wednesday, again, this is for now the next 4 Wednesdays for a half hour at 10 a.m. Central Time. We're going to talk about types of accounts. We're going to keep drilling down on basics and fundamentals. And I just want you to know, we take great pride, me personally, in helping you. I coached for 1,000,000 years and helping young men and hopefully helping them in more than just basketball, what I coached. And corny as it may sound, I want to help you, help as many people as possible. That's our job here. So I want you to be comfortable where, we can talk individually when this program's done, whether we talk on a Zoom meeting, phone call, whether it's just through emails, whatever it might be. But I want you to get something out of this and not just fill the 30 minutes, but know that we're not cutting you off after 5 weeks. We want to keep this ongoing, and we're about relationships here at New Horizons. We've always been like that, just starting back 23 years ago of just one brick at a time, one agent at a time. And that's our goal. So hopefully we're off and running on that for you today. And thank you again for coming. We have great agents, and we have a lot of great agents that help people, and people need our help more than ever. So keep up the great work. So till next time, thank you again. We'll see you next Wednesday.